Okay, so here we go. Different ones that have been asking us to do an update on our garden and what are things doing and how are things happening and what's happened since the last postings we did. We haven't posted in a little bit. So behind me here you see things have been getting pretty warm, so we had to do a shade here. I set up a table for Mercedes to get the seeds transplanted from the starter trays to the little pots, and they're doing very well here in the shade, as you can tell. The main issues we've been having is earwigs and snails. The snails aren't too bad this year, but the earwigs, I'm having challenges. If anybody has some comments out there on natural ways to keep the earwigs at bay and keep them from eating all the new plants, that would be very much appreciated. So in the comments down below, go ahead. If you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Click the subscribe button, and then there will be a little bell on the side if you want to be notified when we post new updates, and that way you can know to come see what we're doing. All right, so let's take a look here real quick. Never mind the mess. It takes time to clean things up, and time has not been on my side lately. So we have over here, this was where the broad beans were. They grew about this tall before we harvested them, and we got, I believe we got 12 or 13 gallon size bags of the, you take the long bean and you husk out the beans out of it. So we only kept the beans, we didn't keep the shells. And from this bed and the one down there, we got about 12 gallon size bags of beans out of them. And the beans are like quarter size of a quarter coin. And we prepare them in many different ways. That's a subject for another video, I guess. But now we have the tomatoes coming, and I tied some string here in between to tie them back to as they get to that size. But as you can see over here, we have many here that have some nice, these are Roma tomatoes. I don't know if you can see them there. We got some Roma tomatoes coming here, very nice size. Nothing's ripe yet. We planted some collards, couve in Portuguese. These are a variety I sent for online. It's called Iberia collards. They're a variety from Portugal, supposed to get nice big leaves, size of a dinner plate. So we're looking forward to those. You can see more tomatoes coming along. Right now I have some drip tubing. It's tubing that comes with the emitters already built into it. So I have some drip tubing running to keep the dirt cool today. It's going to be a very hot day, and that way it doesn't use a lot of water, pressure compensating, so it keeps the same pressure throughout the tubing. And then we've come down here to the duck pen. The ducks are hiding out in the shade today. You can see the ducks over there. We've got, I forget if it's 8 or 9 ducks. And when the ducks are out, Augie gets real excited, thinking he's got to come help me herd the ducks and keep them in order. But that's what he's bred for, right? Got my head caught on the cable here. For Augie's cable, Augie, come here. Augie, come here, sit. For Augie's cable, I just have a spool running right here. I don't know if you can see that. So his cable's 100 foot long, goes from the tree down there by his house, and he can run up and down here, feel like he has a certain degree of freedom while he's still tied up. Sorry, little guy. Now, you be a good boy. Over here, we had a bunch of netted thistles. Is this plant right here? See if I can get close enough here. This plant here, we had some of these growing that were taller than me, and I had to dig them out, and I'm in the process of loading them into the compost areas over there so they'll turn around and compost. But after I dug those out, then we transplanted some squash down here, and I have these somewhat in a conservation method. My dad, when I was growing up, worked in contour conservation. So we take the water that comes out of the ducks' tub there, and we run it down here, and it comes through that pipe. See the pipe there? Comes through the pipe and goes into a little thing here and runs down through the squashes, and the squashes love it. Last year we had beautiful butternut squash, and we had zucchinis and a couple of others. This year we're planting pumpkin, zucchinis. We have some gourd. We have some, which is called cabaça in Brazil. And for those of you that don't know, I grew up in Brazil, so there's a little bit of history there. I've had requests to start doing YouTube videos in Portuguese also. Imagine off-grid wannabe in United States talking Brazilian Portuguese. Okay, isto é para outro dia, right? Okay. So the compost bin needs a lot of work. I got some bins. That one should be about ready to turn over. When I take it out of there, I take all the stuff that's already decomposed and put it into the blue bin here so I can turn it every day. And that makes what you guys saw in the other video that I was turning in the wheelbarrow. That will make very good compost. So as I cycle out the chicken pens, I save all the fluff and food they didn't eat and their poop and stuff. That will go in the compost. That is ash from the fireplace. And this is my recycled hand truck that I can stick it under the edge of the barrel, and then some wheels that go under the frame of a bed, and then I can lay this down, and it makes it easier to spin my barrel on there. But that's just little crazy ideas I get. These little buckets all need to get processed. They're buckets from last year that the plants came out of already, and I did not yet do anything with them. This here is Irish Spring bars of soap that I put in these bottles with the bottom out of them. That smells pretty strong. I hang those all over the plants that I don't want the deer to mess with, because I get deer come here. The deer come and eat the fruit off the cactus, and if they come through the perimeter, then they come and just eat our garden. Year before last, we had close to 300 tomato plants, and the deer just came and ate them all in one meal. I come out and, you know, you see the deck of the house up there. I come out on the deck in the morning trying to figure out what Augie was barking at, and he's out here letting me know that the deer were eating our garden, and they look up at me with half a tomato sticking out of their mouth, kind of like, hey, they're delicious, you want some? And they ate the pomegranates and our citrus right down to the stubs and the roses, everything, just one meal. Very discouraging. So I heard from an old gentleman from Duarte Nurseries that one of the things that will keep deer away is to hang Irish Spring soap around your perimeter, and they don't like that smell and don't come in. So I did that, and it worked. It really worked. Now I'm dealing with gophers, and I'm told that if I give Augie a haircut and Dashie a haircut and take and sprinkle their fur all over the garden. Somebody else said to put their poop also, but I don't know how that works as fertilizer for the vegetables. So I'm going to stick with the fur for now, and hopefully that'll avoid things like this. This morning we came out here and found a tomato off of this plant here. It's got some perfectly looking bite marks on there. I don't know if that's the gophers that have been eating it or what. But you can see we got a zucchini coming right here. There's baby zucchinis coming out. So we're looking forward. The corn is sweet corn we planted here. And let's see if we got some baby ears that I can show. There's a baby ear there. So it's coming. I don't know how much we're going to get from it, but we got some corn that we're going to be able to at least sample and savor a little bit. The pomegranate is about done blooming for the year. The blossoms on here, you can see that. Here's some more. It was loaded last week, so I think now it's going to be, let's see if there's any fruit showing up yet. But there's some more blossoms down in here. I think we're going to have probably a good 100, 120 pomegranates on that little tree this year. Last year we made jam. It was very delicious. Very, very good pomegranate jam. I have a stack of pallets here that's supposed to be for a raised bed, like that raised bed. So that was all made from pallets. And when I get the time, I'm going to make raised bed out of this. And then this here is buckets of rock that I picked out of the bed there where the corn is. I got to haul those away somewhere. And all of these buckets I still need to process, sift out the roots and stuff from previous planting and growing, and hopefully have some more buckets. Working on my fence line here, putting pallets for my fence line to help deter the deer and hang my soap on the outside. As you can see, I have Irish Spring hanging on a fig tree that looks wilted. It needs water. And I have the citrus trees here. There's a couple of little fruit going to be on here this year. There we go. Now you can see it. Get that in the sunshine so you can see the fruit. The roosters are getting all worked up. We have a few chickens and roosters going. We even have a little bantam separated in here in a box in a little nest so that she can give us some little baby bantams this year, I hope. But it's many works in progress. So you've seen what happened to the broad bean bed is now corn. And I'll see if I can get an idea here. If I'm standing next to it, this corn is that tall. So it's sweet corn. It's not going to get any taller than that. It's got all the spigas up top already, and that releases the pollinating stuff down onto the corn, and that's what makes the corn so it can grow next year from the harvested corn. And over here we still have onions growing in the bed. One of the videos we were planting those right next to the favas, or broad beans, horse beans some call it. And we have not harvested those yet, but we planted garlic that same week. We filled this with garlic, regular garlic and elephant head garlic, but the gophers were getting at them, so we harvested them a little early. We got maybe a 5-gallon bucket full of garlic from that, which we're enjoying very much. Last night's meal had fresh garlic and onions from the garden, and that was very good. In this raised bed, we still have some onions here. I think I showed that already in the video. You can see how big that onion is next to my hand. Can you see that? Get that a little closer there. And so we're letting those grow a little longer. It's in the raised bed. The gophers don't seem to be bothering there. Obviously it needs weeded. All that takes time. So there's a little progress. Some of my gardening here goes to show you, like the strawberries we have. Yesterday we harvested some strawberries. We each got 2. You can see a little bit of red going on in there. You don't have to have a big yard to do gardening. This is potatoes growing in these containers. All you need is some containers and a little bit of dirt, and it helps to have some kind of fertilizer. We do our own compost tea. If you look up on YouTube, there are many ideas on compost tea. Basically, we put a little bit of fish fertilizer and some raw sugar and mostly natural stuff with a fish aerator to aerate, oxygenate it, and leave it overnight. And these tomato plants absolutely love it. It works for just about any plant. You can water the leaves, you can water the roots with it, it won't hurt them. So we have different things started. Obviously a lot of cleanup needs to be done in the yard. Right here we have what's known in Azores as, I think Brazil has groselha also. These are groselha plants, In America, they call them summer berries. These are not currants. They're not black currant. They're not in the currant. They're called summer berries. There are some YouTube videos on it. It took us years to discover what they call them actually in English. We'll put a link on the YouTube video that you can go see what they look like in the plant. So we were invited last year to go pick some from a Portuguese family in Turlock, and we made jam that we shared with everybody, and it was very good. But we were able to bring back some clippings, and we actually got them to start. So I don't know how soon before we'll get some fruit of our own, but hey, everything's worth it. You can see in the background there, taro root, inhame in Portuguese. We got those started already. I picked up some little ones that were sprouting at the Asian store. There's a big Asian store nearby, about a half hour from here, where we go get things that we can't get elsewhere, like bigger mangoes and avocados and things like jackfruit, jaca in Brazil. Things like that we pick up at the Asian store. So those were sprouting, and we went ahead and brought some home to see if we could get them planted. Obviously, got a little warm today. We're looking at probably 95 degrees here today before it's said and done, and the humidity is just crazy. The plants are all wilting. Here we have also some onions we planted in this bed, and you can see the peas, ervilhas. Look how beautiful. So while we didn't get a lot, it's enough to encourage us that yes, we can grow this stuff in this crazy dirt full of rocks. Here we have some grapes that we picked up. I haven't figured out where I'm going to put them yet, but they're doing very well in the pot here so far. And you can actually see the little baby grapes coming along here. So I have 3 varieties. I got to figure out where in this yard I'm going to put them. The plan, hopefully over the weekend, is to finish my framework here. That one over there is falling over. I didn't do it right, the third one. So I want to finish that one and put one over the corn, and then find some kind of a cover to put over for some shade. That's our biggest summer problem here, is the sun gets too hot and just cooks them. We lost an avocado tree that we had over here. It was taller than me already, and the sun just cooked it last year. So I got to take some measures. Anyway, there's our update. There's our garden. Lots of work to do. Too bad you can't come over and help me. But you can do your own, okay? Do your own. Get busy out in the yard. Get your fingers dirty. It's very therapeutic, very relaxing, calming, and helps you just forget your troubles away. The best way to forget your troubles is replace them with something pleasant, something productive, all right? So activity, get busy, do your own, and then post it so I can see it. And send me comments, how you think I can improve. And negative comments don't help anybody, so positive comments, all right? Encouraging. And post your own videos. That's a way to comment. Show me a better way to do it, okay? All right. Have fun.